Morning, church. Hope you had a good weekend. Happy to be back with you this Monday morning, and we're picking up in chapter 1 of Ephesians, and we're picking up in the middle of verse 19. We ended with talking about his incomparably great power for us who believe, and then Paul goes on to say, that power is the same as the mighty strength he exerted when he raised Christ from the dead and seated him at his right hand in the heavenly realms, far above all rule and authority, power and dominion, and every name that is invoked, not only in the present age, but also in the one to come. And God placed all things under his feet and appointed him to be head over everything for the church, which is his body, the fullness of him who fills everything in every way. There's a lot packed into these last few verses. The first thing I want to point out is the Holy Spirit that indwells us is the same Spirit, Paul tells us, that raised Christ from the dead. That's the power we have that we don't tap into very often, I think, as Christians, and we don't necessarily put our full faith and hope in that. When I look at what's going on in the world, and I reflect back on Pastor Bob's sermon a Sunday ago, not yesterday, but a Sunday ago, when he talked about that the earth or the world was unformed and void and dark, and then God spoke into that and he called out goodness. That's what I think about in the Holy Spirit, that the Holy Spirit speaks into our lives and he draws goodness out of our lives. And through the power of the Holy Spirit, we can then speak into the world because that same Spirit lives in us. We can speak into the world and we can draw goodness out. The problem is we speak without that wisdom that we talked about on Friday. We speak with maybe a head full of knowledge, but not the wisdom that comes with it. And so that's why, again, it's a succession. We need to be praying for that wisdom, and then we need to accept this power that God has given us through the Holy Spirit. And not only is this power in us, we serve under Christ, who sits at the right hand of the Father, and God has placed everything under his control. And he's the head of the church, and we're the church, and it says here at the end, which is his body, the fullness of him. We're the fullness of Christ on earth right now. So what people, when they look at the church, they should see a people who are full of Christ's power through the Holy Spirit and full of wisdom that comes from the Holy Spirit. And church, I don't know that we're there yet. So my prayer is going to be for us as a church that we would pray first for wisdom, and then that we would pray for the power of the Holy Spirit to work in and through us as we seek that wisdom and how we should speak into our world today through our words and our actions. See you tomorrow, church.